conversation on the fourth. Carmela, should I start over?
Yes, please.
Okay, all right, thank you. Sorry, I went off script a little bit. All right, so welcome everyone. I'm Sharonda Robinson, and it's my pleasure to be with you this afternoon. This is the fourth meeting of our workforce development plan, and we're so grateful that you're here because this is a community plan, and we want to engage with the community around this conversation. Today's topic is on upskilling, and we welcome your questions and your comments related to this topic. Workforce development is a critical part of a strong economy, and Workforce Solutions of the Capital Area mission is to lead in the development of a world-class workforce. That's the vision, that all people are productive and that our region is prosperous. Today, we're discussing the fourth strategy, upskilling, of the community workforce plan. And so we so appreciate your participation and input. I want to walk through just quickly the agenda for today's meeting, and then I will ask the folks that are joining me, helping to lead this conversation, to introduce themselves. So we're in the welcome right now. Do a little bit of housekeeping to share with you how you can participate with us. We'll have a presentation by Amber Warney. Amber is going to go over the tactics related to upskilling, and then we'll have an opportunity all throughout today's conversation for you to put your comments in the chat or raise your hand and ask questions, but we'll also have a focused time on our agenda for Q&A. And then we'll ask you to complete before you leave an exit survey, and we'll talk about next steps as it relates to the plan. So this is a little bit of housekeeping. I know that we've learned how to use Zoom over the last year and a half or so, and just want to remind you that at the bottom of your screen, there is a Q&A feature that you can use to submit your questions. You can also raise your hand. You'll find that button as well, right next to the Q&A feature, or you can put your questions or your comments in the chat. All right, so welcome to today's meeting, and Amber and Carmela and Naya would love for you all to say hello to everyone. You first, Amber.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amber Warren. I'm with Workforce Solutions Capital Area as the Director of Upskilling and Advancement. I've been doing workforce development for 10 years, and I've been with Workforce Solutions now for 3. So really excited to talk to you guys today about upskilling.
Thank you, Amber. And I'm going to you next, Carmela.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being here. My name is Carmela Green, and I'm a Senior Project Assistant at Adiza Communications.
Thank you, Carmela. Carmela is the reason that we're all here, and we so appreciate your efforts to help organize today's conversation. And then we got someone who's in the background, making sure that we're all a success. Naya.
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here with you all today. My name is Naya Antar, and I'm a project assistant for Adiza Communications.
And Naya is going to be off screen. Thank you, Naya. She's helping to make sure that we move the agenda forward and get all the questions answered and all the technical activities. So you're a vital part of today's conversation. Thank you all for joining and helping us to make this happen today. So as I mentioned, we are conducting a series of meetings. This is the 4th engagement session of an 8-part series, and we want to collect your input on the 4 strategies that are included in the workforce plan. This is the 2nd iteration of the community workforce plan. And with the help of Austin area workforce development community-based organizations, I know some of you are represented in the audience today, training providers and employers, you all are helping us to develop this plan. The purpose of today's meeting, as I mentioned, is to provide you with additional details on the plan and highlight our 4th strategy, which is upskilling. We welcome your comments and feedback during this section. I also want to bring your attention to a tool that you can use. This is our website, our project website, and if Naya or Carmela can put the link in the chat for everyone. I know that sometimes people come to these conversations and they give input during the meeting, but then also they think about it at 3 a.m, like, oh, I wish I would have said this, or I want to know more. Well, surprise, we've got an opportunity for you to be in touch with us outside of these conversations, and also share with other colleagues that you know could not be here today. And so there is a mini website. You can use your phone right now to scan the QR code to get to that site, and we'll put it in the chat, but it includes all of the 4 strategies and a way for you to provide us with feedback and ask questions on that website. So I just want to make sure you know that that's available to you. And Amber, thank you, Amber, just put that link in the chat for everyone. And so did Naya. So you've got 2 opportunities to choose from the same link. We believe in abundance here, but want to make sure you know that we are seeking feedback and input from everyone across the community. And this is one way for you to engage with us. All right. So while you look over the community workforce plan, I know you're in that microsite right now. If you could take a minute today to place your name and organization that you're representing in the chat, while I introduce Amber Warney, who is the Director of Upskilling and Advancement. She specialized, as she mentioned in her introduction, in workforce development for 10 years, and today is the Director of Upskilling and Advancement for Workforce Solutions Capital Area. She is originally from Arizona. I think did I get that right or wrong in the first one? Originally from Arizona, all right, and has joined us in Austin, and we're so glad that you made that decision to be here and help us grow our economy. And Diane Curlin from Austin Energy, thanks for joining. So we've got some folks putting their name and information in the chat, and Amanda Pincock, welcome to today's conversation. Just want to let you know how much we appreciate you. And I see Megan Robinson and Rip Rowan. Rip, if this is the same Rip Rowan that I met 20 plus years ago, let me know. I think it is. Yael, welcome to today's call. She's from Workforce Solutions, and Crystal Connolly and Allison Brandt. Thank you all so much for being here today. I'm going to turn over the conversation. Megan Robinson from the City of Austin. Wonderful. Turn over the conversation to Amber, and she's going to walk us through the upskilling strategies that are in the workforce plan. All right, Amber, it's all yours.
Great, thank you. So this is an overview of the community workforce plan, just to give you guys an idea. We've had the sessions for our other strategies: awareness and enrollment, training, and placement. Today I'll be talking to you guys about the 4th strategy, which is advancement. But ultimately, we're looking to help connect local people to local jobs, help with making Austin more affordable by improving income for individuals and helping them advance in their careers and develop career opportunities that provide self-sufficiency for them. So looking at upskilling and what this strategy includes, ultimately with upskilling, we're looking to assist frontline workers in acquiring skills to advance into middle-class jobs, or middle-skilled jobs. When we think about these positions, we're thinking about more than a high school diploma, but less than a 4-year degree, but ultimately advancement for individuals' career as a goal as a whole. With upskilling, we also think about it as being employer-led. So how do we engage business and companies to help promote their incumbent workers that are working within their organization to help fill the skill gaps that they're seeing? So I'll go over what this strategy entails, and please feel free to add your questions or comments in the chat as well as I go. So this strategy has 2 components to it, with a lot of different things going in between those 2. It's awareness and capacity, and I'll break out what that means in the next few slides. So when we're thinking about awareness, one of the big things for upskilling is kind of a culture shift. So a lot of people have been told growing up, go to school, get a degree, and you'll be in the career that provides you with a good income, and that's where you'll see success. And we know that that has been changing for many years as we are developing the workforce and seeing changes in the workforce, that really lifelong learning is something that's being more adopted. And I think business is shifting towards that, and individuals are shifting towards that. And even before that, when we were hearing, go go get a 4-year degree to be successful. There was still that career advancement, the climbing the ladder was still a component that we were looking at. So building awareness around what upskilling is, what this word means, I think is really important for the community. And this includes both for employers on how to utilize it to fill their skill gaps, as well as job seekers. So when we're looking at job seekers, this really falls into the strategy 1 of awareness in our community workforce plan of providing individuals with the information, the labor market data to make career decisions on how to advance in their career and how to move up, how to reskill, but also how to utilize their employer resources like tuition assistance or on-the-job learning to advocate for advancement for themselves. So we have different tools for job seekers to learn about this type of information. I'm going to put one of them in the chat, being our career profiles. It shows related occupations on the second page to what that career you're working towards is. So this gives people an idea of, what is that wage growth? What is the education needed to get there? And provides a little bit more resource for an individual to make intelligent decisions when they're thinking about their career. Additionally, we host webinars, events, and videos that go into career exploration. And I can put that into the chat as well. And our awareness team has done an amazing job in developing these for our job seekers. When we're thinking about awareness for companies, for employers, and that's really where I try to work and operate directly with companies on providing them information on what upskilling is. We have a few different tools, including an upskilling toolkit that's been developed. And it walks through different types of upskilling strategies. So whether that be apprenticeship programs or on-the-job training, internal, external training, what that looks like for them and how they can implement it. We also host upskilling workshops for employers to attend and learn more about upskilling, as well as recognition for employers who are upskilling locally here in Austin. So we've developed an Upskilling Heroes Award. I know I'm dropping a lot of links. I'm going to throw that one in too, so you can see that information. But the Upskilling Heroes Award really promotes companies that are developing their internal teams to meet the skill gaps that they're seeing. So that's really where awareness falls into place. It's a culture shift for the region, nationally, for employers to take on the responsibility of training their incumbent workers, and also individuals looking to advance in their career as well. The second component is capacity. So upskilling in itself is a great concept, but of course it takes a lot of practice and processes to be able to put something into place, especially when we're looking at it from an employer-led strategy. Rip, I see you on the line. I know with our Bridging the Talent Gap survey, we saw here in Austin a lot of employers and employees. There was a disconnect between what was available for employees to be able to advance with their companies. Employees weren't aware of tuition assistance or even utilizing it. So how do we better connect that and expand the capacity for employers to allow and cultivate their employees from within? In addition, like I mentioned, the upskilling workshop, this really dives into how employers can implement this into their own organization, and then working one-on-one with employers to expand and dive into what this looks like for them. And sometimes it's not a good fit for all positions. Sometimes upskilling doesn't necessarily work in the way that we think it is. That career ladder just isn't there, but how do we still provide that lifelong learning and also the value of employees expanding their skills? How do we continue recognizing employees that are doing that within the organization to help increase retention, to help increase their bottom line, return on investment, things like that. So working one-on-one with employers, either in a group setting or individually, really helps to strengthen that capacity component. The second part to capacity is connecting employers to relevant resources. So this is going to be, how do we identify, that training to get their employees to the next step? So if we're looking at an entry-level worker and we want to be able to advance them either into a middle or upper level position, what type of training is needed for them to advance? And how do we provide that to the employees? One of the big components with upskilling is, how do we ensure that they're still maintaining an income to support themselves while also going to school? So how do we expand and build out that capacity to support individuals? I work directly with employers on identifying training that could be beneficial from local training providers, including Austin Community College, and as well as other community-based organizations and training, to be able to let them know, these are options for you to send your employees. So that's one of the big components for this capacity is identifying that training, identifying what is needed. The third component for capacity is increasing availability and access to funds that support upskilling. So from the Upskilling Heroes link that I dropped into the chat, the previous one, you'll see that it also includes an upskilling survey. This is something that is allowing us to collect data and assess, what is happening here in Austin in terms of upskilling. How can we increase that, improve that? How can we advocate for additional funding to go towards upskilling? Workforce Solutions, as well as some other organizations, have grants available to help with upskilling. One of the grants that we have is the incumbent worker training, which helps to offset the cost of employers sponsoring training for their staff. So that's one resource. How do we expand that? How do we make it better and easy for employers to access and utilize for their incumbent workers? The Texas Workforce Commission also offers a variety of grants, including the Skills Development Fund, in partnership with Austin Community College or technical state colleges throughout all of Texas, as well as other community colleges too. So how do we help employers connect to those resources as well? And then when we're looking at creating and developing these upskilling programs, how do we demonstrate that return on investment so that they can turn internally towards adding funds to providing this type of support for their employees? Apprenticeship is also a huge area to be able to provide upskilling support, and funding is available there both on a state and national level. So that is the second component of capacity. With upskilling, as I mentioned, there's a lot of different nuances in terms of how do we create a cultivating environment for employees that also meet companies' needs as they're advancing and growing. So thinking about the schedule, thinking about transportation, thinking about what that next step is, what the timeline for people to get to that advanced position is, and really building that out. So that's what we're looking at for upskilling. And I want to be able to talk with you all and get your feedback, get your questions on how we can increase and develop this. I've been working with a lot of community partners in advancing this. I've been doing this strategy now for 2 years, and I'm very excited to continue expanding and growing it here in Austin. So as Sharonda had mentioned, it's really a community plan, and we look forward to partnering more with the community on implementing this strategy.
Thank you, Amber. Thank you for that excellent overview presentation of what's included in the current strategy. And we've got a lot of smart people who are committed and passionate about workforce development and specifically upskilling, which is why they showed up in today's meeting. And we'd love to get the questions and comments going, Amber, if that's okay with you, and also with our audience. And so, just to get us thinking about this idea, as you were listening to and reviewing the slides, I wonder if anyone that's here today noticed that there was something potentially missing, right? Or something that you're really excited about, that you know about in your experience, that you would like to see our region embrace. Because if that's the case, if there's something missing or something that you've seen work in other places or work in the current arena that you're in now, we want to consider including that in this workforce plan. So now we're, I think, going into a little bit of a question brainstorming session because we've got such smart, dedicated people with us today to see what your thoughts are. So I'll let you stew on that for just a moment, and then we will be looking for your comments and your questions or your hands raised. So, oh, perfect, thank you. We have a question from Crystal Connolly. Oh, I love this question. How can we best help you promote this? Actually,
Yes.
yeah, I'll let you talk about it, and then this is a perfect cue for an announcement that we have to make.
Yeah, definitely. I love that question too. We are always looking for people to help promote this. So a few different ways with the upskilling survey, we've created like brand kits to be able to share information on how to submit information for the upskilling survey so that we can really start to build out and expand on this strategy, as well as promote awareness for upskilling as a whole. We've had a lot of companies reach out just from that survey and say, hey, how do I get started with this, or how do I implement it into my company? So that's one reason, one way to be able to promote it is sharing that upskilling survey. Another way is really connecting them to Workforce Solutions. To me, if you know somebody who's looking to advance in their career, an employer who wants to be able to create a program like this within their own organization, I'm here to talk to them one-on-one. And as I mentioned with that upskilling workshop, that's something that you can promote as well as the upskilling toolkit. So there's a variety of different ways, but also talking about how maybe you're implementing it in your work as well. I think a lot of people resonate with storytelling. So being able to say, we've helped our employees advance by doing X, Y, and Z is really valuable because it allows other people to see, I should be thinking about how I can advance in my career, or I should be thinking about how I can help my employees advance in their career as well. So really getting that conversation moving, using the word upskilling, a lot of people aren't familiar with it. It's kind of a new buzzword, helps to promote it as well. So love that question. I'll be in contact sending you information on how to share what we're working on and also what the community is doing as well. Thank you, Crystal.
Absolutely. And I'll just add on to that, Crystal. One of the things that Workforce Solutions is doing, and I'm popping it in the chat for everyone, is next Wednesday. Hopefully you all have already received your invitation. Next Wednesday, September 29th, Workforce Solutions is hosting the Hire Local Summit. And it's a 1.5 hour experience where we get to highlight the successes and learnings from the plan number 1, our first plan, and we get to hear from leaders and policymakers and elected officials on how this region is developing its workforce development plan. So we welcome you to that experience as well. It is a virtual experience, and I don't think you're going to want to miss it because we've got some fun activities as part of it and some really interesting information to share, as well as what I think is a world-class panel discussion with small business leaders and tech leaders and manufacturing leaders and union leaders to talk about the current state of our workforce and our economy and how we move forward together. So that's just my little commercial, my 60-second commercial for next Wednesday's Hire Local Summit. It's Wednesday, September 29th. From 3 to 4:30 p.m. And we put the invitation in the chat so that you can register for that experience. And please help promote that as well, because the more people that know about Workforce Solutions and about this community strategy, really benefiting our low-income workers, right? The more able we are to move it forward collectively. So thank you for that question, Crystal. All right, any other questions or comments or feedback, anything that you think would be good for the good folks at Workforce Solutions to consider as part of this strategy, the upskilling strategy? Anything you're curious about?
I know Allison Brandt added in the chat that she would love this information to share with their staff as well, in leadership. So Allison, I can send that to you. I'm putting my email in the chat in case anybody else wants to connect on resources available that I can share with you, or talk about this strategy further as well.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that, Allison. Workforce Solutions is here as a resource for our employers and our community. And so Amber is making herself available to support your networks in making sure that they're aware of this issue. All right, so we'll see if there are any other questions or comments. There's a Q&A. All right, this is from Diana Curlin. Thank you, Diana. How are you looking upskilling with local school districts so that students are aware? So how are we looking at upskilling with local school districts so that students are aware?
Yeah, definitely. So as part of our awareness strategy for the community plan, we work very closely with school districts and providing career awareness, career exploration resources like the videos that I had shared in the chat and those career profiles, as well as many other things, events, job speakers, things like that. And that really helps expand students' awareness of what is available and what are those steps needed to advance in their career. A lot of the times young people will think about a career and assume that they'll be able to get there very quickly, like out of school or training. And really a lot of the companies, employers that we talk to and research shows that the experience, the on-the-job training, that resume building is where individuals find that ability to advance in their career. So how can we provide career-related experience to individuals at an earlier age so that when they do graduate post-secondary education or training, their resume is robust enough that they can get to a higher career position that they're looking for. So when we're thinking about high school students, this can be a little challenging with age restrictions and things like that, but providing them that idea of, what, if you want to be a nurse, how do you get into the healthcare career at a young age? Where can you start at? Maybe it's at the front desk, being able to help guide patients or create appointments. That really familiarizes yourself with the healthcare industry so that when you do get a certification for nursing, you can advance very easily and have that experience behind you. And this falls within many different industries, as I'm sure you know. So that's one way. And when we're looking at, adult job seekers, like in community college, freshman students, or even just young adults that have already graduated high school, we look at, what is their career goal and what is that entry-level step to get them there? So how can we connect them to employment opportunities related to their career goals? We call this earn and learn. And there's a lot of different methods of doing it, but that, I hope that answers your question.
I love that. And Diana just added another comment. She said, great to hear. Austin Energy would like to be involved with these types of events as we have many jobs that do not require a degree. We also have an apprentice program to highlight. So
that's fantastic. Yeah, I'm working to expand apprenticeships here in Austin. So yeah, I would love to connect with you on what that program looks like, and then also help you connect with graduating high school students or young adults, or just the job seeker population in general, to connect to those opportunities. And being able to promote, that you offer these types of jobs and the advancement within those positions, I think is really valuable when we're thinking about upskilling too.
Thank you so much. Checking the chat to see if there are any other questions or comments that have arisen. I hope that you're registering for the summit next Wednesday. And I see Diana just gave us her email address so that you and Amber can be in touch. Thank you for that. I'm scrolling back through. If you want to raise your hand or plop a question in the chat or in the Q&A, we'll give it a few more moments. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. I do want to highlight and go back to the microsite and just remind you that as you have time and an opportunity, that you take a look at all of the strategies, in particular the strategy 4 that we have focused on today, and give us additional feedback and input. And then also let your networks know about the upcoming engagement sessions. And I wonder if we can share those dates for the upcoming engagement sessions. I know that the next one is on September 30th, where we will focus on one of the strategies. But I'm wondering if my team can put those dates out there for everyone related to those engagement sessions. And then we also, again, ask you to join us next Wednesday on the 29th to be a part of the Higher Local Summit. Did I leave anything out, team? Is there anything else we need to cover in today's conversation? And last minute check for any additional comments or questions. 2 new messages. All right. So we've got the dates in the chat for the upcoming sessions where we're focusing on the other strategies. And those will go through October 19th. Okay, just so everyone's aware. And then Amanda Pincock says we also have a pre-apprenticeship program, electrical tech program. We'd love to talk to people about opportunities. Yeah, there are lots of opportunities, and the awareness and the collaboration is what is going to help us continue to move our region forward, particularly with our low-income workers. So thank you for that, Amanda. So Amber, looks like you've got a list of to-dos from today's meeting, which I know you appreciate, and some connections to make to help these great employers move their workforce forward. All right, any last comments? Questions? Okay. Well, then we will call this meeting complete. On behalf of Workforce Solutions of the Capital Area, we appreciate your time. We're grateful to you for your questions and your interest in workforce development in our region. And we hope to see you next Wednesday on the 29th. Thanks, everyone.